Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. So today we're going to get into game 3 against the Philadelphia 76ers. It's been interesting because the Knicks should not have won the first two games of the series. The first game they won 111 to 104, but remember in that first quarter the Knicks were outscored 34 to 25. It was just a horrific quarter. And then the second quarter, the Knicks put 33, only gave up 12. And then the third quarter, they gave up 36, only scored 21. And then the fourth quarter, they won by 10. So you can see that the Knicks struggled. Jalen Brunson was inefficient and just a lot of sloppy basketball. Game 2, the Knicks win that by 3 points. But we all know that the final, what was it, like 36 seconds of that game, Brunson knocks down a 3. We see, of course, Donte DiVincenzo knocks down a 3, and the Knicks get a huge block from Hartenstein on Tyrese Maxey. That turnover by Maxey. There's just a bunch of chaos going on, and all of a sudden the Knicks are 2-0. But the thing about the Knicks being 2-0 is that this just didn't happen in previous seasons. The Knicks always lost these games. I mean, how often do you see something like that go for the Knicks? It's always against the Knicks. We've seen it time and time again as fans of this team, and a lot of that speaks to Coach Thibodeau. I mean, this is what, the third or fourth year in a row that Coach Tibs has been voted the coach that players would least like to play for. But ever since Tibs came in, the Knicks, they've made the playoffs all but 1 year. Of course, they're the 2 seed this year, despite Randall missing time, OG missing time, Mitchell Robinson missing practically the whole season. And the reason for that is just the attitude. It's very similar to Villanova Wildcats when Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Hart were there. They won 2 championships. The Knicks, they look like a team that goes out there and just tries to win even if they're not supposed to. If the shots aren't falling or it's an off night from their superstar in Jalen Brunson, guys have stepped up, and that's been the key for the Knicks in the playoffs. I mean, I would not have thought the Knicks would be up 2-0 in the series with Brunson shooting 33% or less from the floor in both of these games. But Josh Hart, 4 of 7 from 3 in game 2. Donte DiVincenzo, 4 of 8 from 3. These guys have stepped up and made big time shots. Isaiah Hartenstein's playing the best basketball of his career. He had 14 points, 3 blocks, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Of course, in 30 minutes, and Mitchell Robinson played the other 18, and was honestly a quiet game for Mitch. That's how it's going to be, and that's how we said it would be, is that Precious Achiuwa will not be a part of the playoff rotation. We'll see Isaiah for 30 minutes, and then the 18 minutes that he's off will be to Mitchell Robinson. Bojan, Miles McBride, those are the other 2 guys coming off of the bench. We haven't seen Alec Burks, we haven't seen Jericho Sims, and I don't think we will anytime soon. But the Knicks, they're going to be a significantly better team next season. We know that when Julius Randle comes back. But right now, the question is, what can they do fully? Like, what is the Knicks' true potential? And to me, I don't even think the Knicks need Julius Randle to win the East. And I know that sounds crazy because the Celtics are a 60-plus win team, but we have a bunch of players on this roster that are capable of stepping up. We've already talked about some of them, but I mean, what about OG Anunoby, for example, who he had a quiet game statistically, but from a defensive perspective, OG was incredible guarding Embiid, and he was incredible guarding Tobias Harris. And that's something that doesn't show in the stat sheet. You know, Tobias Harris, he goes out there, plays 41 minutes, 10 points on 4 of 11 shooting. Joel Embiid was 12 of 29. This is the second straight game that Embiid has been inefficient from a field goal percentage. He, of course, was 8 of 12 from the free throw line, 10 boards, 6 assists. Embiid was incredible in this game, despite being 50% at best. But it's just the fact that OG, when he's out there on the floor, the Knicks defense is at an all-time high. This is some of the best defense that we've seen in Knicks history ever since acquiring him in a trade via Toronto. And that's something that definitely doesn't get talked about too much because everyone is just focused on Hart and Devo and Brunson and Hartenstein. Like, I get it, but OG is very crucial to this team, especially getting deeper into the playoffs when you're going to be going up against great wing after great wing for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and these guys are fantastic. Like, OG's defense is going to be huge, but really outside of that, the bench is going to be the thing for the Knicks. It's just such a massive advantage for the Knicks. If you take a look at Philadelphia's bench, they got 6 points from Batum, 2 from Reed, 2 from Buddy Hield. Batum played 33 minutes and scored 6 points. And then you've got a guy like Miles McBride, who, from his standards, was quiet in game 2. 21 minutes, had 9 points, but of course he had one of the best games of his career in game 1. And then Bojan Bogdanovic played just 12 minutes, had 6 points. He'll take that though. I mean, that's think about it. That's a point 2 points every minute. So if you're getting that from a guy coming off of your bench, you'll definitely take that, because a lot of the times in the playoffs, it's going to be about the starting lineup. I mean, I get you need depth and an overall team to win a championship, but the starting lineup, they're going to be at their best. But it's like, what can you get outside of that? And the Knicks like what they have in those three. And think about it this way: if Julius Randle was healthy, then the Knicks would have 4 guys coming off of their bench. Josh Hart would be pushed to the bench, and then we would be seeing Brunson, DiVincenzo, Anunoby, Randall, and Hartenstein, and then a bench of Hart, Boyan, Robinson, and McBride. So like the Knicks bench would be even stronger at full health, but it's not. And that's the beauty of it, is the Knicks, remember, Dante wasn't signed here to be a starter. Dante was supposed to be a bench player, and he came off the bench to start the year. So, you got Dante, Hart, Hartenstein, that's 3 players right now that should be off of the bench essentially, and they're starting, and they're playing extremely well at a high level. And then, yeah, the Sixers, what has killed us has been the big 2. Joel Embiid, 34, Maxey, 35, and I want to say at the top of my head, 33 or 32 from everyone else. So the Knicks, and that's something that a lot of Knicks fans talked about, was that I want Philly over Miami, because if you can limit Joel Embiid, you can limit Tyrese Maxey, or not even necessarily limit them, because I wouldn't say the Knicks are limiting them. I mean, they're absolutely destroying us. But if you can just keep them there, and then everyone else just take them out of the game, then you're going to be able to win. And that's exactly what's happened. Like, Oubre has been non-existent in the series. Tobias Harris has been non-existent. Kyle Lowry, I thought, had a good game 1, but in game 2, I mean, he was good. Like, he had a good overall game, but Kyle Lowry hasn't been an issue for the Knicks. I mean, he was a massive issue for the Knicks in the last playoffs in 2023 because of his ability to rebound. I mean, the Knicks were just very lazy and not boxing out. Batum was amazing in that playing game. Non-existent these first 2 games. Paul Reed, non-existent. Buddy Hield, non-existent. But for the Knicks, who's been stepping up? Everybody outside of Jalen Brunson. And in order for the Knicks to win this series in 4 games, 5 games, Brunson's going to have to step up, because the last thing you want is the Knicks to lose these next 2 games, because at that point, I mean, you're looking at a series. I mean, whoever wins the next 2 games out of 3 wins the series. You just don't want that. And Brunson knows that. I mean, the fact that he's been so bad, he's played the least efficient 2 games of his NBA career. All he has to do in the next one is go out there and make the shots he's been making all season. Because if you've been watching these games closely, you'll know that it's not like Brunson is shooting worse shots, or he's just, he's under a lot more pressure against his playoff defense, but he's just not knocking down the shots that he has all season. The turnarounds aren't falling, even just not even necessarily spotting up, because a lot of these threes by Brunson have been on the move, but he's just going to the basket, and he's not getting a lot of the calls that he was in the regular season. But a lot of people don't know this. Jalen Brunson was top 10 in scoring without free throws. Like, people don't know that. They just think of Brunson as not a foul merchant, but they think, oh, Brunson just lives at the free throw line, like they say on the broadcast. But Brunson, he's had plenty of games this season where he scored 30, 40, even 50 without even making many free throws. Like, a couple of free throws, like 3 at most. So, yeah, I just need to see Jalen Brunson be the Jalen Brunson that we've seen all year, because he is going to be the key to the Knicks winning a championship. And I'm not saying that the rest of the guys don't matter, but for the Knicks to have any sort of chance to win a championship, Jalen Brunson has to be either where he was in the regular season, or he needs to be at his best, and then guys around him need to step up. Because if Jalen Brunson was playing like he was in the regular season, which was a top 5 MVP candidate, the Knicks would be destroying the Sixers. But they're not, and he'll be the first to tell you that. But a win's a win. I just want to see my favorite player go out there and have some better games, and I'm looking forward to it. And I know he will. Like, I have so much faith in Brunson. Game 3 is going to be Thursday at 6:30, I want to say. Actually, yeah, 6:30. Well, 7:30 if you guys are out on the East Coast. I'm in Central Standard Time. I live in Texas now, but Sunday is going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'm kind of bummed out that the game is literally in the middle of the draft. Like, that's so whack, but I mean, it's okay, man. The Giants, of course, they got the 5th pick. Probably going to end up with Malik Neighbors, if I had to guess, or maybe a quarterback. We'll see. But, yeah, in terms of Game 4, that's going to be an early one. It's going to be fun, man.